Everyone, my name is Ken Stoltzfus. I'm going to be the instructor for the Psych 412 clinical psychology class this fall. Welcome to the class. I will be with you in a few weeks in Klaipeda. I'll be coming in the week of September 19th. So looking forward to seeing all of you. I know some of you. I think some of you were in my psychological assessment class last spring. And those that I don't know, I'm looking forward to meeting you in a few weeks. In the meantime, I just thought I'd introduce myself, introduce the course to you a little bit, just to get us started until we can meet in person. So again, my name is Ken Stoltzfus. I was a full-time professor and department chair at LCC from August of 2012, until December of 2013. So I was there for 3 semesters. I really enjoyed my time at LCC. I've been coming back since then. This is my 3rd visit back to LCC to teach and to help with some other things there. I would still be at LCC if there was some way that I could have figured out how to teach my kids Lithuanian. They had a really hard time learning the language and going to school in Lithuania, and so we ended up coming back because of their educational needs. But I'm glad that I've been able to stay involved there, really glad to be able to come back and work with you this fall in the clinical psychology class, and looking forward to doing that in a few weeks in person. In the meantime, let me just tell you a little bit about the class. Because this is a class that's a hybrid class, meaning it's mostly online but has some face-to-face, I just wanted to kind of explain to you how that's going to work. So there's sort of 4 different parts or sections to this class. The first part is the pre-class part, the part that happens before we meet in person. So I'm going to ask you to do a whole lot of reading. I think it's something like 7 book chapters and 4 articles, but you've got until September the 19th to do that. So you've got almost a month to do that reading. All of the reading assignments are posted on the course Moodle site and in the course syllabus, which is posted on the course Moodle site. If you have any questions about any of that, my email address is also on there, and I'd be glad to explain that further to you. The other 2 things you're going to be doing during that 3 weeks before we have our face-to-face classes is that you're going to be doing 2 papers. And these are relatively simple papers. They're just to get you started thinking about clinical psychology and the sorts of things we're going to be talking about in class. So the first paper is going to be what we're calling the Dimensions of Helping paper. And that paper, I'm asking you to think about what it's like to give help to people and to receive help yourself. I'm also asking you to think about what's the difference between professional helping and non-professional helping. So what's the difference between a friend stopping in the hallway and saying, I've had a really bad day, can I talk to you a little bit, versus paying somebody or having your insurance or the government pay somebody to do counseling, to do clinical work with you. So that paper is described in much more detail in the syllabus, but you're going to want to look at that. And that paper is going to be due on September the 7th. So that gives you a couple weeks to get that paper done. The second paper that you're going to do before class starts is what we're calling the SelfCare Interview. In that paper, I'm going to ask you to interview a psychologist or someone else who has a job that involves helping people. So this could be your resident director, it could be the chaplain at LCC, it could be a teacher, it could be another professional from the community, it could be a pastor or a priest. They often work in a helping role as well. If you have trouble thinking of someone to interview, just shoot me an email and I'll be glad to think through that with you. But anyway, I'm going to ask you to interview that person to find out about how they take care of themselves because they have a stressful job and they need to find some ways to deal with that stress. And so I want you to ask them about that. And then I want you to compare their answers with what's in the academic literature. And so I'm asking you to look at 3 to 5 articles on self-care and just to think about how that fits or doesn't fit with the strategies that your interviewee shared with you. That paper is going to be due on September the 14th. For both those papers, I have a Turnitin assignment link on the Moodle site, and so you can just go to that, upload the assignment, and that should be all that you need to do. Okay, and so then the second part of the class, so the first part is the pre-class, the second part is the in-class, the in-person classes. And so we're going to have about 10 hours of in-person classes during the week of September 19th through the 23rd. I have a chart on my syllabus that shows what days and times and which room numbers we're meeting in during that week, and it also shows the topics we're going to be discussing. The week after we're meeting in person, so that would be the week of the 26th of September, there'll be a test. So all you'll have that week is you'll go to class one more time, you'll have a test that'll be proctored by one of the LCC faculty, and then they will email that test to me so that I can grade it. So that test will be on everything that you've learned during the in-class part of, or during the face-to-face class that we had the week before. The third part of the class then will be online. I've recorded 5 online lectures. I'm going to ask you to watch those lectures and to take a short quiz. And the lectures also have a reading assignment to go with them. So the quiz will cover both the lecture and the reading assignment. So that's a way that we can sort of have class but not actually meet with me in person there. And then the fourth and final part of the class is independent work. So because most classes at LCC are 45 hours, we're only going to meet in person for 10 hours. The quiz will take another hour, so that's 11, and then I've got about 5 hours of online lectures, so that's only 16 hours. That's only a little bit over a third of the time that you normally spend in class. And so to make up the rest of that time so that it's legal, so that the class counts, what I'm going to ask you to do is do some writing. Some of that you'll do before I get there. I've already mentioned the dimensions of helping paper and the self-care interview paper. But then there's two other papers after the online part of the class is done. One of these papers is a current issue paper. And that paper I'm just going to ask you to think about what's an issue that you're interested in psychology. And that could be, or in clinical psychology specifically. So that could be something like clinical psychology in the former Soviet Union. It could be working with substance abuse and individuals who are abusing substances, drugs and alcohol, other substances. It could be a paper about working with people with PTSD. It could be a paper about confidentiality requirements or licensing requirements for clinical psychology. So you can really pick the topic. I'd be glad to help you with that if you need some help, but that's going to be the next paper that you do during that final month or so of class. And then the final exam for this class is going to be putting what you've learned in class into practice. So I'm going to ask you to pick someone, and it can be either a fictional character from a movie or a book. It can be a real life person. I'm going to ask you to sort of assess that person, develop a treatment plan, do some of the things that we're going to learn about this semester, and then write that up in the form of a paper. And that'll show me that you've gotten the main ideas, the main points from this class. I know that probably sounds like a lot of work, but you've got to remember the trade-off there is that you're not going to be in class all that much. You're only going to be in class about 11 hours in person, another 5 hours online. So this independent work makes up for the hours that we're missing in class since I can't be there. And to be honest, I can't even put 30 more hours of online classes in place. That would just be way too time consuming for me and for you. And so we're doing the pre-class, the face-to-face, the online, and then some independent work to make up the different parts of this class. So hopefully you understand that. Hopefully when you're writing the papers, it doesn't feel like, oh, why is he requiring so many papers? Because remember, we're doing lots of in-class work to make up for that. Okay, I hope that all makes sense. Even though I am far away in America, I'm glad to talk to you. If you have any questions about any of this, email is a good first start, but if there's something it'd be better for us to talk about person to person, I can set up a Skype call with you. I also have WhatsApp, so I can call you on WhatsApp if you have that on your phone. So anyway, I'm looking forward to meeting with all of you, and we'll see you in a few weeks. And please don't forget to get started on those assignments. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye now.